Have you ever wondered why something small can set you off and make you feel angry or anxious or sad? What I'm talking about here are emotional triggers, and they're signals about deeper parts of us. Now in this video, you're going to learn how to spot, understand, and use these triggers for personal growth. So what is an emotional trigger? An emotional trigger is any situation or event that brings out an emotional reaction in you. And it's not the emotional trigger that's the real cause, it's what's going on inside of you. Like for example, let's say you're at a meeting and you get ignored. What this might do is bring out a memory of a time that you were rejected, and you're going to react based upon that previous experience. Now, why do emotional triggers matter? They matter because they reveal something deep inside of us, and they point to some unresolved wounds that we might have. Perhaps it's some deep-seated belief like, I'm not good enough, or nobody likes me, or I was abandoned sometime in my past. But our values are really what matter the most. And without awareness of these emotional triggers, our life just kind of seems to run on autopilot. But with awareness, these emotional triggers can help guide us and we can learn from them. So what's the best way to learn about these emotional triggers that you might hold? The best way is to start writing them down. Start keeping a journal anytime that you identify something that evokes a reaction in you. Make note of it and write it down and think about what is it that could be bringing this out, that could be making you feel this way. And ask yourself, what really happened? What was it that made me feel this way? And where have I felt this way before? That's important. Looking back in your past. So how do you use these emotional triggers for self-awareness? Reflect on what that trigger says about your personal beliefs. If you feel defensive about being criticized, that could be a possible fear of inadequacy. And instead of blaming others, ask yourself, what about this threatens me? And what does this reaction teach me about myself? Now here's some tips on how to respond rather than just reacting. First thing you need to do is just pause, take a breath, and reflect on how you feel. And you might try doing the name it to tame it technique. If you can identify the reaction that you have, just say it out loud. If it's I feel angry, it's I feel angry. If it's I feel neglected, I feel neglected. And then instead of blaming others, ask yourself, why do I feel neglected? Or why do I feel inadequate? You don't have to answer the question, you just have to identify what that feeling is. And it's important to choose intentional responses over impulsive reactions. So just remember, triggers aren't the enemy. They're actually mirrors of yourself. So next time you identify a trigger, an emotional trigger in your life, use it as an invitation to learn more about yourself. Now, if you experienced a recent emotional trigger, be sure and leave me a comment down below. Your comment might be able to help somebody else.